डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Namaskar dear students and learner of this course. I am Professor Kamesh Rawal. I welcomes you in the video lecture series of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Here we are discussing a subject called Fundamental of Computer and Information Technology. I think in the last session we have discussed a first unit of a block number 3. In the block number 3, basically we are discussing information technology. In the first unit of the block number 3, we have discussed something about a network. So, what is network? Why we are building a network? What are the advantages which we are getting through the network? So, that thing we have discussed in a very detailed manner. Now, for next 2 sessions, we will do a detailed discussion on internet technology, right? As we have discussed, 3 type of networks are there: LAN, MAN and WAN. WAN, that stands for a wide area network, and at the time of discussion, that is, we have mentioned that the internet is the application of a wide area network. So, what actually the internet is, how it bonds, and what are the different things are there, what are the different technologies are there which are associated with the internet. So, next 2 session, for next 2 session, obviously what we will do is we will do a detailed discussion on what actually the internet technology is, right. So, let us start our today's discussion. Basically, in our today's session, we will start a discussion on a unit number 10, right. Unit number 10, which is actually focusing on the internet technology. In today's session, we will just try to focus on how the internet has been evaluated, right. So, evaluation of the internet, how internet actually made, right. Okay. Then suppose if you want to connect your device with the internet, then what are the things that you need to take care, right. Later on, we will discuss ISP, which stands for Internet Service Providers. So, what are this Internet Service Provider and how can we get the internet from the Internet Service Provider? Then we will do some discussion on the IP address. In fact, in the detailed manner, what actually the IP address is there, how many different types of IP addresses are there, obviously we will discuss in the next session. Okay. So, let us start with the introduction. Internet is an example of WAN. WAN stands for wide area network. As we have seen, there are 3 different type of networks are there. LAN is a local area network, MAN metropolitan area network, and WAN it's called a wide area network. So, internet is what? It is the application which is running on a wide area network, WAN. Okay. Today we are accessing many services which will be provided by the internet. Okay. So, let us suppose if you talk about paying of your bills, hotel reservation, booking of railway tickets, and there are a lot of services are there which will be provided by the internet and which we are using. One main reason to buy a computer by a business, home, or individual user is internet, right. So, there are several people are there, they are specifically dedicatedly they are buying a new computer because of they want internet services, right. Internet is used by many sectors, right. Different sectors are there which can use internet. The sectors are businesses, right. Businesses are obviously using computer and information technology, internet. Governments are also using, right. There are the various sites are there, and whatever schemes are promoted by the government, obviously they will put all the different schemes on their site, their websites. Okay. Educational institutes are also using internet technology, and individuals are also using for their personal uses. The internet is a worldwide collection of the network. So here we can say, let's suppose if there is one building is there and there are several computers are there, for example 10 to 15 computers are there. There is another building is there where another 10 to 15 computers are there. Many institutes are there, they have suppose 100 to 200 computers are there. Now here internet is what? It actually makes a network of this small lengths, right? So internet is nothing, we can define internet as it's a network of networks, right? Okay, so the internet is a worldwide collection of the network that connects millions of machines. So obviously we know that internet is the application which is spreaded in whole entire globe, right? So in every country you can get the internet services. Internet carries a lot of information worldwide, right? So if you want to know anything about any particular topic, what you can do is you can search on the internet and you can get a detailed information about that particular thing, right, from the internet. So here what we can say is, right, a famous author Andreas Tannenbaum has written this line for the internet. Internet is what? It's a information superhighway, right? So here the information will come from one machine to another machine, right? So it's a call, internet is what? It is a superhighway where a lot of information is going here and there, right? Internet is a main component of the information technology, right? So internet is a main component of the information technology. For example, in the case of information technology, what we need a lot of information, and from where we can get all this information? Obviously internet is the best source for gaining information. How the internet has been evaluated, right? So evolution of the internet. So see, in 1960 the government of USA has given a project to the Department of Defense of USA to conduct the research work on nuclear weapons. So as you know, during the Second World War, the USA has used some nuclear weapons against one country, and after using that weapons, when the world has known what are the how much destruction has been carried out by this type of nuclear weapons. Afterwards USA thought that if USA can use this type of nuclear weapon against any country, then obviously other country can also use this type of destructive nuclear weapons against USA. And so that USA, right, thought that here we need some research work, right? We need a research work on nuclear weapons. So USA government has given some details to the Department of Defense of USA, and they have told that you start a research work on nuclear weapons. Department of Defense DoD of USA has observed that to conduct the research work on a nuclear, they need a lot of computing power, right? So obviously if you want to do a research work on any scientific topic, right, if you want to do the research on nuclear weapons, then they feel that we need a lot of computing power. Without computing power we can't do any kind of productive research work, right? At that time the computer machines were very large in a size. So as we have discussed in the first unit, in the first unit we have discussed a generation of the computer. So at that time, first generation of the computer were there, and in the case of first generation computer we have already discussed that those computers are actually made by using a vacuum tube technology, and they are actually occupying the whole room size, right? So right now what we are doing is we are getting a very handy and portable devices, right? We have a laptop nowadays, we have a mobile, right? And using a mobile obviously we can perform a lot of computing work. But at that time, the computers are very large in a size. So, we cannot move any machine from, one place to another place. So they thought to connect, and obviously the computers are actually used in different universities, right? So the thing is, they have thought that we need to connect all this computer which is situated in a different university, right? And to do this, obviously they thought to build a network. Department of Defense USA has decided to create a network which will connect the various computing devices available in the different departments of different universities under the project called ARPANET. So they have started one project. Department of Defense has started the project. What was the project? Connecting different huge size machines which is situated into the different department of different universities, right? And that project was named as a ARPANET, ARPANET, which stands for Advanced Research Project Agency Network, right? And there are several goals they have set. The first goal, allow scientists and researchers of a different geographic location to share their information research work together on a military and scientific project. And second, network could function even if part of the network was destroyed, because here the research work was done on the nuclear weapon, right? So here there are chances some enemies throwing some bomb kind of thing, and they will destroy some part of the network. But they want to make a network, this Department of Defense want to make a network such that if anyone is using any kind of weapon, right, and some part of the network get disturbed, the other part of network should function fine, right? So this project, whatever they have decided, they have actually implemented in somewhere around 1967. So in 1967, the network called ARPANET becomes a functional, right? During the research work, many students, developer has developed a different type of application, right? Because students are very enthusiastic, and they have developed several applications like email, right? So you can send an email, you can do the live chat, right? So such type of application, online games they have developed. So when the network is established, several students who are actually studying in the university, they have made a different type of applications. Many commercial company has made a request to the Department of Defense. They said, we want to be a part of this particular network, right? Because the commercialized company is actually targeting this network. Why? Because if they are doing the advertisement of their products on this network, obviously it will goes to 1,000 of students of a different universities, right? So many commercialized company has given a proposal that let us join, right? Let us join, we are the commercialized company and we want to use this type of services. But the Department of Defense has refused all this type of different commercialized proposals. In 1981, after the Department of Defense, DoD, has given the responsibility of this network to the National Science Foundation. So basically, when the project is assigned to the Department of Defense by the US government, at that time NSF, National Science Foundation, has given a lot of fund, right, to the Department of Defense to build this type of network, right? Okay, so finally in 1981 what happened, Department of Defense has given this entire network to the NSF, right, who has actually funded a lot of money for this particular project. And now this ARPANET project is actually changed to NSF Net. It is called National Science Foundation Network. Later on, NSF has put entire project open for the public, right? When a lot of different requests comes from the different commercialized company, then NSF has put this entire project open for any public, right? It's not now restricted for only the university and students and professors, right? The original ARPANET consists of 4 main computers located at University of California at Los Angeles, the University of California at Santa Barbara, at the Stanford Research Institute, and the University of Utah. So basically this NSF has appointed 4 different ISP. They are actually having providing a services of this internet. So let if any person wants to connect their device with the internet, obviously you have to approach to the nearby ISP, and this ISP will provide you the cable and all the facility whatever is needed to run the internet at your place. In 1984, this network had 1000 individual computer connected, right? Today millions of computers are there which is connected with this network. So initially, the network has been started to do the research work on the nuclear weapons. Slowly and gradually this network will becomes a larger and larger. Lot of people has been connected with this particular network, and nowadays a million of devices are actually using the services which is provided by the internet. Connecting to the internet. Now how can we connect? Let's suppose if we have a machine, laptop, desktop or anything, then how can we connect our device with the internet? So internet is, it's a publicly owned network. So there is no companies there who is who we can say it's a owner of the internet. There is no owner is there of the internet. It's a public network, right? But still you need to pay for the services. So if you think, okay, sir, if internet is free, it's a public network, then why we need to pay some amount to the ISP, right? So here, you are not paying for the you are not paying for the internet. You are not paying for the information whatever you are receiving from the internet, right? You are paying for the services which will be provided by your internet service provider. User can connect their mobile devices or computers to the internet through wire or wireless technology. So nowadays we have different type of technology. Wire technology is there, where the ISP will gives you the wire, and through the wire you can connect the wire with the wireless router, and through the wireless router you can access internet in all of your devices, right? With a wired connection, computer physically attached with the cable. So here your computer will get connected with the cable, right? And that cable will act as a transmission media, right? So it will carry your signals, right, from your machine to your ISP's machine. And devices like modem, right? So sometimes, if you are using an analog network, if you have a BSNL telephone line, and through that telephone line if you want to use the internet into your machine, then you need a modem, right, which transmit the data on the internet. For wireless connection, there are several devices are there. For example, if we will talk about a mobile or laptop, they have a built-in Wi-Fi circuitry, and because of they have a built-in Wi-Fi circuitry, they are able to connect with a wireless router, and you can use the internet in that type of devices. Other device can access the internet wirelessly using a wireless modem, which is also known as a dongle, and Wi-Fi routers. Okay, so what you need to do is, let's suppose if you have a Wi-Fi router, so they will generate the radio signals. Now to receive this type of signals, suppose if you don't have a mobile or laptop, if you have a standalone PC, and suppose if the standalone PC does not have a Wi-Fi circuitry, what you can do is, from the market you can buy a small Wi-Fi dongle, and it's a it's a USB device which you can plug into the USB port of your system, and you can connect your device wirelessly with the Wi-Fi router. Through the broadband technology, user can download any web page directly. You can play the game online, you can do the communication real time with a chat application, and many more things you can do. Many public places, right? Let's suppose nowadays if you are visiting any garden or mall, shops, restaurant, airport, where you are getting a Wi-Fi hotspots, right? So you can get a free Wi-Fi with this particular malls, hotels, restaurant, airports, etc., etc. Mobile user can share their internet connection with the other by creating Wi-Fi hotspot. So let's suppose if you have a good data plan available in your mobile, what you can do is you can start your mobile data, you can start Wi-Fi hotspot, and once you are starting a Wi-Fi hotspot, you can share your internet connection to your friend's device, right? So here we can share our internet connection with our friend by creating Wi-Fi hotspots. Now we'll talk about ISPs, right? ISP, which is actually providing internet services at your end. An internet service provider is also called ISP, right? It is a internet access provider, right? It is an organization that will be a company, right? For example, you can take the internet from BSNL, you can take the internet from Reliance Jio. So these are the companies which are actually providing internet connection at your place. To provide these services, the ISPs are charging fees from the customer. So obviously nobody will gives you a internet connection free, right? Yeah, internet is a publicly owned network. You don't have to pay for the internet, but the thing is, you are getting a lot of services from the ISP, and for that services ISPs are actually charging, right? Because see, let's suppose if your internet is not working, what you are doing is you are making a phone call to the ISP, and ISP will send some engineer, they will troubleshoot the problem, and then they will start your internet. So obviously that company needs to pay certain amount to the various engineer who are actually providing a services to you, and for that purpose, for this type of services, obviously you need to pay. ISPs are often charged fixed amount, right? So they are charging some fixed amount, and sometimes they are offering you a different type of speed plan, right? Let's suppose if you need 100 Mbps, you need to charge you need to pay 10,000 rupees, for example. If you need 80 Mbps of speed, obviously you need to pay 8,000 rupees, and in that way different plans will be prepared by the ISP, and they will be offered to the customer. Sometimes ISP also offer additional services, like ISPs are providing an email address, right, online storage where you can put all of your data. So that is somewhat cloud services, right? So that type of services will be also provided by the your internet service provider. Bandwidth means how much data you are getting in a 1 second, right? Let's suppose if we'll talk about 10 Mbps means 10 into it's a Mbps, so megabits per second. So mega you need to convert it into the kilo will be converted into the multiplying by 1000, and you are getting a bits. So let's suppose 10 Mbps, that is what it's a bandwidth. So in a 1 second your system will get 10 megabits, right? So that is what a bandwidth. Bandwidth means the amount of data which is travels through the network, right? A higher bandwidth means more data transfer per second. Bandwidth can be in a kbps, kilobits per second, or mbps, megabits per second, right? Nowadays we are also getting a connection of gbps, gigabits per second, right? Now how the machines are exchanging the information, right? So on the internet there are millions of machines are there, and they are exchanging the information. Now to identify each and every machine uniquely in the world, every machine will have one dedicated address, and that address is nothing but it is called the IP address, right? So the internet, which is rely on a addressing scheme. Here one machine is identifying by the another machine by their IP address. Okay. Each machine on the internet has a unique address, and that is what it's a IP address. IP address is a sequence of numbers, right? So there are two different categories are there of the IP address: IP version 4 and IP version 6. Right. So here there are several numbers are there, right? For example, if we will talk about IP version 4, there are 4 numbers are there which is separated by dot. For example, 192.168.1.1. So here we have a 4 number which is separated by dot, and that can be IP address of one machine, right? On the internet, every devices are communicating with each other by their IP addresses. More detail on the IP address, obviously, that we will provide in the next video session, right? For the today's session, I think a sufficient discussion we have made, right? So in our today's session, we have focused on what actually the internet is, right? What are the benefits of using internet, how the internet has been created, right? So, and finally, we have discussed what are the ISP, how can we connect our device with the internet, and finally, we have started our discussion on the IP address. In the next session, we will go into the detail of IP address, what is IP version 4, IP version 6, that we will discuss, and then few more things we will discuss into the next session. Till then, take care and bye-bye.